Hey guys, so I want to talk about David Bowie. and this is going on both my Facebook page and my YouTube channel, so I want to clarify. I know it's not anime related, but I feel like I really need to talk about it. So, as most of you know, or as most of you should know, um, David Bowie passed away night before last. Um, and sorry, it's still kind of hard for me to talk about it. So yesterday I was going to make a couple of collection videos, anime collection videos, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. And I kind of want to talk about why his death affects me so much. A lot of my friends, say, of course he was influential and everything, but it's just another, famous person dying. It's not like you knew him personally, and they don't get why it hits so hard. And that's kind of what I want to explain, is why David Bowie's death was so hard on me and still is. So I guess we'll start at the beginning. First of all, I have obsessive compulsive disorder. Most fanboys and girls do. It's what gives us the ability to obsess over things because we have an obsessive nature, obsessive personality. So that makes us like things more than the average person should. And OCD manifested itself for me when I was 7. And around the same time was when I got really into David Bowie. I first got into David Bowie when I was 4. My mom showed me Labyrinth for the first time, and she had the soundtrack on CD, and so she would drag out her little exercise trampoline for me into our living room and let me dance around, put on the soundtrack, the Labyrinth soundtrack for me, and I was entranced by him. I thought, some of my friends were scared of him, which is understandable. I guess he looks a little extreme in Labyrinth, but I thought he was beautiful and magical in there, and I was nothing but attracted to him. So then, I was a little kid. I didn't think about things like, music and stuff like that, getting into things. I was only 4. So a few years later was when I started getting interested in music, and I was 7. I was in 2nd grade, and I rediscovered David Bowie. I mean, I was still obsessing over Labyrinth from between 4 and 7, but I didn't know who David Bowie actually was as a person. So then, when I was 7, my mom gave me the Labyrinth CD. She said I could have it. It was mine. Listen to it whenever I want. She wanted me to have it as mine. So I took it to school with me. I took it everywhere. I broke the case. I still have it somewhere. And then later on, she just realized how much I loved David Bowie and his music, and she bought me the Changes Bowie cassette, which it's like a greatest hits type thing. It had Rebel Rebel, Diamond Dogs, Genie, Space Oddity, of course, Fashion, Ashes to Ashes, John and Only Dancing. I think it had Modern Love. Had a lot of, hits. I listened to that all the time. Like, you can ask my friends all the time. They were like, David Bowie is weird. And I was like, no, David Bowie is amazing. And I went to my friend's birthday party. I think she was turning like 8 or 9. And she was a couple years younger than me. And I we're going to be playing musical chairs, and they told, our parents before we went what games we would be playing. I don't really like musical chairs, so I was like, oh, I'll just play the music. I'll bring the music. They were like, cool, that's fine. So I brought my little pink stereo, and I brought Changes Bowie. And so when the parents were like, all right, let's get the music on for musical chairs. They're expecting this cute kids music, and out comes David Bowie, and they're just like giving me, all the adults there gave me the weirdest look, and I'm just like, what? So anyway, by the time Earthling had come out, which was 1997, when I was 9, or either 1997 or very late 1996. Anyway, my mom bought me Earthling on cassette. Yeah, it was all cassettes back then. I mean, there were CDs, but I didn't get a lot of them because, I was a kid and I wouldn't take care of them. So, Earthling to me, it was very different, but I loved it. Like, my favorite songs were Little Wonder and Dead Man Walking. And The Letter. I think that was Battle for Britain, The Letter, yeah. So, I was obsessed with David Bowie. By the time I got to 4th grade, I did a school project on him. And my mom had the book by Angie Bowie, his ex-wife, where she did like a tell-all about their marriage. It had tons of pictures. I cut them out, had them everywhere. Used some for my project. She also had like this classic rock book, had a section on glam rock, had David Bowie pictures in them. I totally stole that book. My mom bought me David Bowie books when I was like, for my either 10th or 11th birthday. One of our family friends made me a David Bowie like photo album for my birthday. And like my mom, we got a copy of this Glass Spider tour on VHS when I was a kid. And I was like 10, and I would put that in and just dance all around the living room to his music. David Bowie was so amazing to me. Like, I would get made fun of because of how much I liked David Bowie, because it was, my classmates were into the Backstreet Boys, and I was into David Bowie, and they're quite different. So, I was not very popular because I liked David Bowie so much. A lot of people thought it was weird. The parents thought it was weird. Everybody thought it was weird but my mom, because my mom's weird. As I got older, I bought more and more of his albums, and really, really gained an appreciation for him. And I would watch every special with him on it. We taped the episode of the Rosie O'Donnell show that he was guest starring on, and sang Rosie Girl to her instead of China Girl. And, oh man, just so much. And, so when I got older and I heard about his heart issue, when he was in, I believe it was South America, and he had to have emergency open heart surgery, I was really scared. I was scared that he was going to die before I would, get the chance to ever meet him and tell him how much he meant to me, because I thought he was a fascinating person. I mean, I'm now a member of the transgender community and the just the LGBT community in general. I'm bisexual, gender fluid, which is technically part of the transgender community. And David Bowie Ziggy Stardust really is an icon, in that community. And he did so much. He did so much to revolutionize the music industry. He has done so much for minorities, and he's such an amazing person. And so whenever he had his I believe he had a heart attack, whenever he had his heart issues, I was scared. I was scared I would never be able to meet him. I was scared I would never see him live. I was scared I would never be able to tell him how much he meant to me. I wasn't ready for him to go yet. And he did come to come to St. Louis, which is a bit from my hometown, in 2004. I didn't know about it. Some of the friends I have now went to that show, and they're very lucky. I'm very happy for them that they had the opportunity to see him. I hope they realize how freaking lucky they were, because they'll never have that opportunity. And it's not just me being sad that I won't get to see him live. I'm sad that so many people have lost such a great talent. The world has lost such a great person, and I'm upset because he was the constant thing in my life, like before, and he was the first thing that I loved ever, like before Harry Potter, before Once Upon a Time, before anime even, there was David Bowie for me. He was always there for me. His music was there. And I feel lost without him. I feel empty. I know I didn't know him personally, but it feels like I lost a very good friend. So that's kind of what I wanted to convey to you, is why I feel so strongly for him and about his death. Why it affects me so much. It's just I'll never be able to convey to him just how much I admired him, how much he meant to me, how much his music meant to me, what he got me through. Just so much. And I've always been afraid of this day because he was getting older and I knew it was coming, but I was genuinely afraid of that day, the day that he would die. And it was like a punch in the face when I read it, because I had no idea. Anyway, I'm gonna do the nerdiest thing in the world, because that's what I do, and I say I raise my wand to you, and you will never ever be forgotten, and you will live on through your music. And I hope that your daughter and your wife will be alright without you. And I'm going to try my best to be. Rest in peace, David Bowie.